All right, guys, can L-theanine actually help with your anxiety? Let's talk about that. So L-theanine is actually an amino acid. It's not a protein-based amino acid like you'd find in, say, animal-based products, but it's an amino acid. We're going to primarily see it in things like green tea, and you can also find it in some of these different types of mushrooms, but primarily you're going to find it in green tea. Now, it's structurally similar to glutamic acid. We'll talk about that in a second. But tea contains roughly 1 to 3% of theanine. Now, most of that, 98% of that theanine is L-theanine. So you're going to get anywhere from 5 to upwards of 60 milligrams of L-theanine in 200 milliliters of green tea. A cup is 240 milliliters. So we're talking just a bit less than a cup. You're going to get 5 to 60 milligrams of L-theanine. So you can get it naturally. Now, what is it actually doing in your body that it might help with anxiety? Well, again, we're coming back to that glutamic acid. It appears, we don't know all this for sure, but it appears to act on your glutamate receptors. Now, when it does this, we believe it can increase inhibitory neurotransmitters like glycine. I've talked about glycine on the channel before being great for sleep, and also gamma aminobutyric acid, or GABA. And you're going to hear that fairly frequently when it comes to anxiety. So not for sure, but that's how we think it acts. Now, do we have any studies showing that can actually be helpful? We do. They're a little bit mixed, okay? We have a preliminary clinical study. They gave them just a single dose. Now, this is going to become important. Gave them just a single dose of L-theanine, and it did not reduce the anxiety that these folks had versus placebo. However, I want to point out we have another preliminary study. This was in healthy adults, and these folks did have some stress-related anxiety. They gave them 200 milligrams of L-theanine, just like the previous study, but the difference is they did it daily for 4 weeks, and that did show that it helped their anxiety. It also helped with their sleep, which I've done videos on L-theanine for sleep before. Now, what about personal feedback I've gotten from people? As a pharmacist, I hear, people say, yes, I've tried it. No, I haven't. Overall, the feedback to me as a pharmacist has been positive in regards to how it affects anxiety. Okay, now let's talk about if you were to take it, what about dosing? Okay, so the dosing it's a wide range. I've talked to people, I've seen studies like we talked about. They did 200 milligrams a day. Some people don't respond to that and can ratchet that all the way up to 1,000 milligrams a day. I would definitely not recommend starting there. You want to start at 200, work your way up. I've also had people report that taking it at night with magnesium glycinate gives them a good 1-2 punch, not only for some people get anxiety at night because they feel like they're not going to fall asleep, but taking it with magnesium glycinate has been helpful for some people. Now, with any supplement, any medication, whatever it is, we have to talk about side effects. So with L-theanine, overall, really well tolerated. There have been reports of people, getting more drowsy, which makes sense. Also, increased dream activity. Doesn't necessarily mean nightmares or anything, but they tend to dream more. Also, headaches have been reported, but overall, I'd say L-theanine is very safe. Would I recommend supplementing? That's kind of the big question here. It really depends. If you're not a tea drinker, but you could be, you may want to start out with drinking more green tea, maybe 1 or 2 cups a day, see if that helps with the anxiety, because you're going to be getting the L-theanine naturally in that. If you're not a tea drinker, don't want to mess with that, yes. I think L-theanine appears to be effective from what we know. It appears to be relatively safe. So I would be okay recommending supplementing. I would start out at that 200 milligram per day range and adjust it based off your response. I'm not comfortable recommending it beyond 4 weeks right now. But I think, if you have anxiety, don't want to drink tea, or maybe you want to drink a little tea and supplement with a lower dose, that's fine. I do it up for 4 weeks, see how you do, and let me know. Let me know in the comments. Was it helpful, not helpful? Also, let me know in the comments, guys, other topics that you would like me to cover, whether that's supplements, medications, diet, so on and so forth. Really appreciate your guys' feedback. Hope the video was helpful. See you in the next one.